At the Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, we are proud to bring you Education Matters in partnership with EECU, Fresno State, and Chevron. Thank you for watching positive stories about education.
It may seem impossible, but last year there were 222 school shootings, and Homeland Defense says that is a record high, fueled by kids with guns.
In tonight's Education Matters, Juanita Stevenson reporting that those who work to prevent school violence says the impact of the pandemic cannot be ignored.
We're coming on the air with breaking news, and it is another shooting incident.
3 people dead, 6 injured in a shooting.
The shots rang out.
Out of the record number of school shootings in 2021, many of those were what authorities called targeted, a student bringing a gun to school to harm themselves or someone else.
We do have a possible suspect in the 800-900 building, second floor.
The increase in shootings happened despite the fact that many schools remained closed to in-person learning, leaving experts to ask why and wonder about the children returning to class.
We've seen a huge increase in the mental health needs of students. We've also seen a lot of kids who are having a very hard time coping with being in the school environment and just regulating their behavior, getting along with other kids.
Trish Small is with the Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools and oversees the department that provides mental health services to school districts. She was among the dozens of professionals who attended this workshop on preventative behavioral threat assessment led by John Van Drill.
Understanding threats, understanding aggression and violence better, and how some of that, like fights, and some of it is typical and some of it is not, and discerning between the two.
Van Drill is an expert in identifying and preventing school violence. This is his second visit to Fresno County. He was here in 2019 talking to educators, law enforcement, and mental health professionals about how to identify students in crisis and preventing tragedies before they happen. He says the pandemic has slowed progress.
One of the go-to fixes when a student was out of control is just get them out of the school, because the capacity to deal with it wasn't there. And we're trying to get people back to having the capacity to handle kids that are being difficult.
The Office of the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools puts on this event, and over the last 2 years has worked hard to put behavioral clinicians on school campuses. Now that students are returning to class, there is a need to better understand how almost 2 years of isolation may have impacted them.
We're seeing different types of behavior that we need to address. How do we treat those students? How do we make sure that the rest of the student body is now safe? But also, most importantly, how do we prevent incidents from happening in the future?
For Education Matters, I'm Juanita Stevenson, KC24, local news that matters.